Hello guys, and how is it going? Let's wait till I see myself. Study music theory. Okay. The ad played. How was today's contest, guys? Let me update this. I had echo. Was my first salon very bad, only 5 yesterday, and today I spent 12 hours in problem solving till I solved only 1. Maybe you are choosing wrong problems to solve. Guys, I highly recommend to you to watch these guideline videos. I talked about these issues. These can make very bad problems for you guys if you do not pay attention to these possible errors that you can make. Make sure to watch this, especially the newbie to expert in 3 month video. Let me share my screen maybe. These videos, make sure to watch these all. In these I have talked about this issue. That is really bad. If you have spent 12 hours and solved 1 problem, it means that you chose your problems badly, and this might not help you to grow. At this stage it's not good. Namaste, Madhav. Luckily it's unrated. Good. I'm thinking I should change to CPP plus from Python. After some time it's good to move on to C++ instead of Python. At the beginning it's not necessary, but as you grow it's better, because harder problems in competitive programming will be solved with C++, not Python. Let me also say in the Telegram channel that the stream is started. Okay, maybe we should wait a little bit more till more people join and then start discussing the problems. It's my first contest new to Codeforces and was able to solve only 3. That was good. If in your first contest you solved 3, I think it's good. Let me maybe it feels like it's not very fixed. How to get fundamentals of CP, string manipulation, and other basic knowledge. Sure. Well, you can join the Telegram channel and participate in the votes for topic streams. Each week we have a topic stream and we can discuss these topics. Also, if you want, you can join the channel. Thank you very much, Ryan, for loving the live. You can join the channel from this button. You can click on this button, joining the channel. If you want extra things, for example, more live streams and problem sets and discuss. If you click on it, the details are written in each part. I can talk about it later in the stream, but for now I think it's better to start talking about the problems. Are you guys ready to start discussing the problems? Which country you're from? What do you guess? I always ask this question whenever someone asks me that how old are you and asks me where are you from, I answer like this. Iran, Ukraine. Do I really look to be from Ukraine? Egypt, Armenia, Iran, Peru, Iran, China, Turkey, Azerbaijan, Bangladesh, India, Kerala. What is that? I think now you are saying random countries. Yes, that's right. I'm from Iran and currently I live in the US for my university. Okay, so Kerala is in India, I see. Nice. Mexico. How can we join CF group for contest? Guys, please check the community post. I even did put the link in the Telegram channel. If you are a member, check the community post. If you want, I can put the link in the Telegram channel as well. After this stream, I will put the link in the Telegram channel as well, so that you can see it. He's from our heart. Thank you very much. It means a lot. Okay. Do I have to wait before I receive a rating? This was my first contest and was able to solve 3 problems. I think after this contest you will get the rating, but you should wait before everything, I mean the ratings, the rankings get finalized. This is, I think, right now we are in open hacking phase. Yes, you should wait 12 hours and after that the final tests will be running and then your rating will be given. Great, so I think we're ready to start, right? How much rate for one problem? It depends on your ranking. You get rating based on your ranking in the contest. Okay. So, no, I didn't participate, but I've read the problems. I think till F. I read the problems till problem F, but we will solve the last 2 as well together during the stream. Okay. I will explain it later in the stream. I was using VIM when I was participating in competitive programming contests. But now for other coding projects, etc., I use VS Code. Okay, let's start from the first problem. Trippi Troppi. This problem A of today's D4 contest, it says that Trippi Troppi resides in a strange world. The ancient name of each country consists of 3 strings. The first letter of each string is concatenated to form the country's modern name. Given the country's ancient name, please output the modern name. Well, this is basically an implementation problem. You just need to, maybe I should move a little bit here. You just need to find out what is the first character of each string and just concatenate them. For example, in C++, what you can do is this. You can just see in the Python and other languages are very similar as well. You can just say that scene, for example, let's name those 3 strings as A and B and C. And you can just see out A of 0 without any space or anything else, B of 0, and without any space and anything else, C of 0, and then an end line. For example, \n or endl. And that's all. So you just see in A, B, C, you will consider the first characters of each and concatenate them. Also in Python, it's going to be the same. The main point is to just take the first character of each of the strings and just concatenate them together. Is this problem clear? Yes, exactly. It's exactly like this. If the solution is clear, please use this emoji or put a plus in the chat. We solved the first problem very quickly, but the main reason was that it wasn't that hard. Why you change name of your YouTube channel? Well, rebranding, baby. The main reason was I think that maybe now this name suits the channel better. You can tell me your opinions. Accept that. Nice. Okay. So if anyone had any issues with this, let me know. Otherwise, we'll move on to the next problem. You have to do scene.ignore if you're reading and ends first though. Yeah, at the beginning, you will see in the number of elements, but after that, you see in ABC are strings, not characters. You will see in ABC, you don't need scene.ignore for that. You will just see an integer and then each time see 3 strings and then see out 3 characters, right? After each other. Yeah, it was a very hard problem. Okay, if you want me to also show you the code, I will quickly show the code as well. Because I wrote in C++, maybe it's better to show the code in Python, for example. It wasn't a very good code to be shown. In here, he is just taking, and after getting an input, he has a for up to that input, and each time he will print this dot join of w of 0 means that just concatenate them and put nothing between them. If it was a space, here it means that put a space between these w of 0s. For every w in input, that split. So it gets a line and it will split it by the spaces between them, and it will be given 3 strings, and he will join them by their first character. This is a one-line code in Python. If you are a Python coder, you will understand exactly what it's doing. Let me maybe show you the C++ code as well. This C++ code just sends A, B, and C, and says A0, B0, C0, and that's all. This is the exact code for this problem. A is harder than E. Let's see. Yes, Python one-liner power. Awesome. Now let's move on to problem B. Problem B. Bobritto Bandito. It says that in Bobritto Bandito's hometown of residence, there are an infinite number of houses on an infinite number line, with houses at these points 0 to all the negative numbers and all the positive numbers. So it's Z in all the integers. On day 0, he started a plague by giving an infection to the unfortunate residents of house 0. Each succeeding day, the plague spreads to exactly one healthy household that is next to an infected household. It can be shown that each day, the infected houses form a continuous segment. So you are given that what is the range of infected households after n days, and you have to say that you have to give any L prime and R prime that might be the range of infected households on day number m. So what does it mean exactly? It says that, okay, at the beginning, only people in household 0 are infected to plague, and each day this will get expanded either to the left or to the right. One more household, either to the left or to the right, will get infected each day. And you know that after n days, the range of infected households is from L to R. So from L to R, there are infected households. Each day we know that we either move to left or right. You can easily say that R minus L must be equal to n, because each day R minus L increases by exactly 1. At the beginning, R and L are both at 0. Each day you can say that either R gets increased by 1 or L gets decreased by 1. So R minus L increases by 1 each day. So in the nth day, definitely the range that we have from L to R, it must be n. Now we know that we have some number m that is less than or equal to n. Let's define d as the difference between n and m. We know that on the mth day we should have d less households in our range. But that range should definitely include 0.0 as well. Okay, that range should include 0.0 because 0.0 is always in the range. So the only conditions that we have is to just somehow shrink this range in a way that this R prime minus L prime will be equal to m, or in other words, the difference of the size of L prime and R prime and L and R, the range of L and R will be exactly d, the difference will be exactly d, and it still includes 0.0. What I say is this, let's define R prime. You know, let's see that how much we can decrease R. First, we decrease R as much as we can. So first, we say that we define a value V1, value 1, which is how much we can decrease R. This is going to be equal to minimum of the current value of R and D. Because in total, we should decrease the range by D, but we cannot move R leftwards more than R, because otherwise the right point of our interval will be before 0, which is a contradiction. So first we see that how much we can decrease from R. And then we say that, okay, R minus equal to that value. And then D minus equal to that value, because now the difference is decreased by this V1. And then we will move L as much as we can to the left. It would be minimum of negative L, because if L is, for example, negative 3, it can only move by 3 to the right. Minimum of negative 3, minimum of negative L and D, this new value of D. And then L plus equal to V2 and D minus equal to V2. Definitely at the end, D will be 0. Or in other words, you can say that V2 is equal to D. I mean, instead of all this, you could also say that let's just add L by D. That would also work. And at the end, you will see out this new value of L and R. So basically, what I did was to just try to shrink the range of L to R such that we decrease its size by exactly D. But at the same time, we didn't want to pass over point 0. That's why first I will move R to the left as much as I can, as much as it won't go to a negative point. And I know that in total, I want to just shrink by the size by D. So I will see that how much I can move R to the left. If R is greater than or equal to D, I can move it completely D as much as D to the left. Otherwise, I will move it to the left by R, and I see that how much is left from D, and I will move the rest from L and go rightwards. That's the main idea of solving this problem. If this is also clear, please put a plus or use this emoji. If it's not, let me know. I will quickly show you the code as well. So let me know if you understood it well or not. You have a minus. What about the rest of you? I will explain it again. No worries. Can you tell us why most of the CP programmers use CPP or Java instead of Python? Because C++ is faster than Python. Most of competitive programmers use C++. And the reason is that it's faster than Python. In harder problems, it's hard really to accept them with Python, and sometimes it's impossible because Python is slow, is too slow, is maybe 100 times slower than C++. And sometimes within the constraints that we have, it's impossible to accept a problem with Python. But it is only for the harder problems. In the easier problems, it's okay. Hopefully they get banned. Hopefully the systems get better and it becomes impossible to cheat with AI. If you want today, we can test with ChatGPT as well to see if it works or not. Why L plus M isn't correct? I will explain it now. Okay, let me continue it. Yeah, sure. If you want, you can send me your code and we can quickly check that out. But not now. Let me first explain it. Let me explain it again. You know, we have a range L to R, and we know that R minus L is equal to N. If you are okay so far, let me know. If you are not okay so far, tell me to explain it more. Definitely R minus L must be equal to N, because each time R minus L increases by 1. So if on day number M we have L prime and R prime, definitely R prime minus L prime is equal to M. okay, definitely on day L prime and R prime, if on day M we have L prime and R prime, definitely R prime minus L prime must be equal to M. Now what I say is this. You had a solution that one of you said in here. They said that Y C out L plus M wouldn't work. Why we cannot set L prime equal to L and R prime equal to L plus M? Well, if you do this, this condition will be true, that R prime minus L prime is equal to M. If you set L prime as L and R prime equal to L plus M, this condition will be true. But we have one more condition as well. 0 must be in this range. Because at the beginning, we know that cell number 0, household 0, has gotten infected. So definitely it remains infected. So 0 must remain in the range. So we should make sure that 0 is always in the range. But in here, we do not guarantee that. For instance, assume that we have that on day, for example, 10, L is minus 8 and no, L is minus 8, R is 2. What do we have on day number 5? What you output this way would be minus 8 and minus 3. But this is not a valid range because infection started from point 0. So it should still include that. So what should we do to fix this issue? The good point about this solution is that its range is really equal to M, and our range, the range of the interval we output, definitely must be equal to M. But you can just fix it with an if. This is another solution that I'm telling you, so that I will cover 2 solutions as well. So if you didn't understand the previous one, now I explain it in another way as well. We say that if L plus M was greater than or equal to 0, well, this solution will work. We will see out just L and space L plus M. This solution wouldn't have any issues if L plus M is greater than or equal to 0. Otherwise, we will see out minus M and 0. End of. This solution would also work. Why? Because I'm saying that, okay, if L plus M is greater than or equal to 0, okay, we see out L plus M. Definitely 0 is going to be in this range. Otherwise, it means that L is less than negative M. So it means that, for example, L, this is 0, L is here, and it's less than negative M. Negative M is somewhere here. So in that point, we can just see out the range from negative M to 0. This is another range that its size is M, and because L is less than negative M, this is completely inside the range from L to R. So this would also work. So the other solution that we can say is that if L plus M was greater than or equal to 0, see out L plus M. Otherwise, just see out minus M and 0. This way, we have both of the situations that we need. Both of the conditions are met because both this range is completely inside the previous range we had, and also its length is M, and it contains 0.0. It has all the 3 conditions. Is it clear now? If it's completely clear now, please put a plus or use this emoji. If it's not, again, let me know. Or you can just do brute force on L and R. Yeah, probably you can do a brute force on L and R as well. Let me show you this code as well. I will go over E, but we have to go one by one. I don't understand this. What is hacking in Codeforces? I can quickly tell you that other people will read your codes, and if they found an issue in your codes, they will give you an input that your solution would not answer correctly. This is something that just helps the final testing phase. So if someone found some error in your code, they will just give you some test case for that. Here is a Python code that you can see. I will show the code you sent as well. That is interesting. A one-line code, he will just say that he will consider a maximum of minus m and l to maximum of 0 and m plus l. That is exactly what we had in here. From maximum of minus m and l to maximum of 0 and m plus l. Basically, it says that if l plus m was greater than or equal to 0, what it will output is this. It will be l and m plus l. Otherwise, it will exactly output minus m and 0. And basically, what we output here is equivalent to, instead of this, we could also say cout maximum of minus m and minus l, and then maximum of 0 and l plus m. That is exactly the same thing as what we wrote here. That exactly gives the same thing. These two are equivalent. So this was the Python code that we had in here. Let me also show you the code that you sent. This is a C++ code. And what it does is this. If L was equal to R and L was equal to 0, C of 0, 0. So he is checking the case where N is 0 separately, basically. Otherwise, he says that if M is less than ABS of L, basically is again testing, checking minus negative L, L and negative M. That's basically exactly what we had in here. He will just see out A and 0. He will see out minus M and 0. A in here is minus M. He will see out minus M and 0. Otherwise, he's basically, what he's doing is exactly see outing L and L plus M. This is exactly L plus M. ABS of L, M minus ABS of L is exactly L plus M. Because L is a negative number in here. So basically what he's doing is that he will find out that how many negative numbers we are covering, and he's covering the rest from positive numbers. He's looking at it differently, but he's doing the same thing. Is it clear now? Is the solutions clear as well? Yeah. Some people read others' codes for that. Is there a way to get personally trained? Yes, there is. I think I had the link before in here, but maybe right now it's not here. If you wanted to be personally tutored by me, I should find, where did I put the link? But basically what you can do, you can email this address if you want. Let me give you an easier way for it. I cannot find my email as well in here. Let me send you the email that is assigned to this YouTube channel. Was it genxls or genxls99? gmail.com. Yes, that was this. How is the course going? I'm preparing the course. The course will be prepared soon. Yes, the email that I sent you was correct. I checked it just now. Do you guys know that what was the roots of this genxls? What does this mean? It had some. The fees, as I wrote in the website, to be personally trained is $100 per hour if you want to be personally trained by me. But that's not, if that's not something that you can do, that's completely okay. I know that, especially for people outside of the US, that might be hard to do that. You can still join these topic streams or live streams. And also, if you want to be personally trained, if you join the Future Grandmaster tier, other than this other benefits that you get, other perks that you get, you will get discounts on one-on-one classes as well. So to the members of this tier, because they are supporting the channel, instead of $100 per hour, they will get $70 per hour. So they get a 30% discount other than these other perks. This is something to, but with maximum of 2 hours of class per week. So if you want, you can join that tier. And also there are the other tiers as well, like Fast Learner, that has these points: focus, private live streams, monthly video by your choice, early access and higher discounts for the courses, study plans of the month and member shoutouts, and problem solver, early access to new videos, curated problem sets, access to past member content, behind the scenes sneak peeks, and weekly contests. And supporters have these emojis. Higher tiers have these things as well. As you go to higher tiers, you have the perks of the previous tiers as well. And also vote on topic streams. Bi-weekly you can vote that what topic streams you want, chance problem of the week, and course discounts. I was planning to have the first contest of the Fast Learner and Future Grandmaster tier yesterday, but some of you guys haven't sent me your Codeforces handle yet. So if you're watching here, please check the community posts frequently. I told you how to join the Codeforces group there, and just do what I said there, so that if you join there, I can set the weekly contest for you guys, and the monthly problem set, the monthly plan will be released soon as well. Please just check please just check the community posts so frequently. Yes. These prices are different in different countries. For example, in the US, they are more expensive. Like they are 1, 4, 10, 25. But for example, in India, I think the first tier is $0.33. That gets decided by the YouTube. These prices are set by YouTube. Okay. Will there be contests for problem solvers? No. Contests are for fast learners and future grandmasters. And also the private live streams. Is it very costly really? For example, you know, for the first tier is $0.33. I tried to make it as, to be honest, it was the cheapest price that YouTube was offering. You know, in the US, it does not offer less than $1, which is gonna be $0.33 in India. But if it is costly, that's a bad news, because I really don't want that to happen. Yes, the last tier is costly. I agree that. So if you guys believe that this channel is giving you values as much as $1 per month or something like that, I would appreciate you being a supporter of this channel to get rid of the barriers that we have, and we can move it to the next level. This money will never go to my pocket. It is gonna be spent in the channel itself. So far, I have spent from my own pocket, I spent around maybe $2,000 for considering even either the equipments as well. But right now we have some issues to ask other people to come and stream on my channel because of financial reasons. So you have to pay a high amount of money, also editors. That's why we can have limited number of videos. But hopefully these issues will get resolved by your support, and you will definitely get these perks in response. Okay. Awesome. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Adnan and Mormona. Thank you. So shall we move on to the next problem? How you stream your iPad? What do you mean? No, I'm not streaming on my iPad, if you mean that. I'm streaming on my laptop. But the iPad is also connected. Can I upgrade supporter to fast learner? Yeah, I think it's possible. especially from the next month, it's definitely possible, but for the second month of your membership. But if you want to do it in the same month, you should just click on here and see if you see any option for that. I don't know about that for sure. It's something that YouTube knows, YouTube has implemented. For this next month, you can change your plan, but for this month, I don't know if you can do this or not. Okay, yes, definitely. If you give a prompt to AI and generate code, it's cheating. AI should not generate code for you. Okay, let's move on to the next problem. The Codeforces group, see, if you take a look at it, I say it very quickly and then, okay, I got it. Sorry, I made a mistake. I said that weekly contests are for fast learners and future grandmasters. I did a mistake. I mistakenly remembered that. You should be problem solver or fast learner or future grandmaster to be in weekly contests. Problem solvers have weekly contests as well. For more accurate details, just watch this part. Problem solvers are also invited to weekly contests, as you can see in here. Check the community posts after the stream. You will see the instructions to do so. Okay, let's move on to the next problem. We spent a lot of time in between. Let's quickly move on to the next problem. The next problem, I don't know how to read it with the name. It just says that you are given a table and you have to output a permutation out of it. So the permutation is like this. You have this table, g of I and j contains p of I plus j. So the elements that you see in g of I and j contains element p of I plus j, or the I plus j elements in the permutation. Given this grid, please help Patapim crack the forgotten code, find out the permutation. So you are given this table. You know that this table g of I and j will contain p of I plus j. So you have to say that what the permutation itself is. Well, the main point of it is that you have g of from 1 and 1 to g of 1 and g of n and n here, g of n and 1 here, and everything in the middle. So first of all, I can say that this cell is equal to p of 2. This next cell is p of 3. This next cell is p of 4, and so on. So this first row gives you from p of 2 to p of n plus 1. And this last column gives you from p of n plus 1 to p of 2n. So basically, you have p of 2 to p of 2n. You have p of 2, p of 3 to p of 2n. You can have a 4 on the first row and set p2 to p of n plus 1, and then have a 4 on the last column, fix p of n plus 1 to p of 2n. P of n plus 1 will be fixed 2 times, but it's okay. It doesn't make any issue. You don't need to worry about that. If you want, you can also have 4 from the second row of the last column. But anyway, you can easily find out p2 to p of 2n. There will be only one element left at the beginning. At the beginning, there will be only one element left, that you have to see that what element is not present in the permutation so far, because it is a permutation. So you have to see that which element is not present in the rest, and you have to include that in the first point. So you can simply do that. You can just have a 4 and just mark these cells that you have in here. Mark these numbers. You know that you should see each number from 1 to 2n exactly once. So you can mark the numbers that you see in P2 to P2n, and then have another for see that which number is not marked. And then just put that as P1. And that's gonna give you the final answer. Is this clear? If it's clear, I will quickly show you the code as well. I found the sum of all, yeah, that's also a good idea. That's also a good idea without any mark array. You can also consider the sum of the numbers from 1 to 2n plus to 2n and then subtract the rest from it. Or you can even consider the XOR of all the numbers from 1 to 2n and then XOR whatever you have. I will post it very soon. Please, as I said, please check the community post. I haven't gotten the Codeforces handles of the many of you yet. That's why I'm waiting for that. Please check the community posts frequently, because still I feel like many people, I even have one person that is in future Grandmaster plan, but I'm trying to reach out to him or her to add him to the Telegram group, but I cannot find him or her. I don't know why is that, why he joined and he doesn't want his perks. But yeah, please check the community post as soon as you send me your Codeforces handles. Based on your rating, as you will be given the study plans. Yes, it's custom based on your current situation. For the fast learner tier, it's based on your rating. You will get a study plan. For the last tier, future Grandmaster, that I think Abhinav, you're a member of that, you will get in contact with me in person. So we will talk in person about your study plan. I don't know what does this mean. So guys, yeah, let me tell you this interesting solution as well. This is also very interesting. You could also take the XOR of all the numbers from 1 to 2n, or the sum of the numbers from 1 to 2n. And then either if you take sum, just subtract this P2 to P2n from it and you will get the first number. Or if you are XORing, just XOR these numbers again so that they got cancelled. The number that will remain will be the first number. This is also an interesting solution if you don't want to have a marked array. I will show you your code, because this one's first. I will show this one. Maybe next time I'll show you yours math half. So we let me, okay, it is a Java code. So what he does is this: he will get the inputs, and then what he does is to set that P of S. He says that S is equal to I plus J plus 2. I mean, it's the element of the permutation that is going to be equal to this cell. And he will set P of S equal to grid of I and J. You might say that, but the same cell of the permutation might be set so many times, because for many I and J's that will be set. But it's okay, because each time it will be set to an equal number. So it's like we have repetitive assignments, but that's okay. That doesn't make anything not work. And then after that we have, he has this mark array, found array, that he will see that what elements can be found in the permutation right now. And wherever he sees that an element is not found in the permutation, he will set the first element of the permutation equal to that. And that's what he's doing. Let me see if someone has done the XOR idea. I think this high competitive programmers might have done that. Jiangli has used sum. So basically what the Jiangli's code is this: he will get all the numbers and he will say that P of I plus J plus 1 is equal to G by plus 1. Because he is using zero-based indexing, so he should shift by 1 to have everything correctly, because the cell 0 and 0 should go to the second cell. So it will be 0 plus 1 to go to cell number 1, which is going to be the second cell. So he needs an adjustment, a shift by 1. And then what he does is this: he says that P of 0 is going to be the sum of 1 to 2n, which is going to be 2n times 2n plus 1 divided by 2, minus the sum of the numbers that we already have in our vector from p of 1 to p of the last elements of p does n. And then he will just see out pi's. And that's all. Okay, and this was also an interesting way of outputting. Basically what he does here is that if I was equal to 2 times n minus 1, he will see out backslash n, which is n-del, otherwise he will see out a space. That was also an interesting way of outputting that Jiang uses. That's an interesting thing. When I was younger, I was always reading people's codes whenever I wanted to see how when I was stuck in a problem, as I told you in the how to get to expert video as well, when I was stuck in a problem, or I was or even when I was I had accepted the problem and I wanted to check how did the others implemented it, I was reading others people's code, and this is super helpful. For example, you will see things like this, and you will see that how easier codes could be implemented. That can help you a lot. You can see other solutions. Looking at the problem and trying to find out what it has done is very helpful. And you see that in the topic streams, a lot of times I open someone's code and I see that what have they done in the live streams, especially for the problems that I haven't read them completely before the stream. So keep this in mind. This can really help you. Subscribe to your account. Thank you, Ali Abbas, for supporting the channel. I learned to use long doubles to avoid overflows reading channels. Great. Yeah, long double. Yeah, exactly. That's great. That's a good point of reading people's codes. Long double will avoid. Long double is long double, I think. Even. Long double helps you avoid overflows. Yes, that's also right. But we just need to find out what is the first element as well. If it's completely clear, please put a plus or use this emoji, and then we'll move on to the next problem. Yeah, sure. Hi man, if I got rank 3200 in the contest with 700 rating, how many points will I get? I'm not Nostradamus, but I don't know, but it depends. What I think you should do is to see people around your ranking and see that what is their rates. If the rate of people around you is more than you, it means that you had a good contest. If the rating of people around you is less than you, it means that you had a bad contest. You can also use these plugins that can predict your ranking. I don't know if they're still working or not, but I was using them too when I was participating in contests. There are some plugins that will predict how will your rating change. It does not work anymore. Yeah, some people say it's working still. I'm not using them anymore. Yeah, you can use this carrot extension. Yeah, I remember its name was carrot. Sometime, but I can solve B and C in the same context where I am lagging. You have to solve a lot of easy problems, I believe. I see a lot of that. I see a lot of people who have the same issue. For now, focus on easy problems and solve a lot of them per day. That's what I did. So maybe someone comes and say that, no, I did something else. That's completely okay. But this is what I did myself. And I always tell my students as well. As I said in the videos, in the guideline videos as well. At the beginning, you have to solve a lot of easy problems. I was even solving 10 problems a day. And my rating skyrocketed. As you can see in the, I think it's even in the thumbnail of this video of how to get to experts. In the thumbnail I included my own charts. As you can see in here, my rating was here, and after maybe even 2 months, not even 3 months, maybe after 2 months I got to expert, and after 3 months I got rank 4 in a Div 2 contest. So that's something that I did myself, and I saw that it works well. That's why I can confidently suggest it to everyone. But that's definitely not the only way. Maybe someone else growed in another way in competitive programming. But I believe that you should solve a lot of problems. Awesome. That's very good to hear that it's working for you. Not working in Chrome, not working in Chrome. So maybe you have to use Firefox or Brave or what? As far as I remember, it was for Chrome and Firefox. So use Brave. Okay. Do you love me? Do you? Do you? Who are you talking with? Is your crush in the live stream? Shouldn't we try to solve problems with rating around our current rating? Like if you are yes, I believe that solving around your own rating is very good. 10 years back, when you were solving, does your method still work to this day? Yes, definitely. Definitely it works. And from when I got it, I became a teacher to all my students. I suggested the same approach. And I can see that I was entering the school. This is something that happened a lot for me. I was entering in a school and I was seeing that the students there have studied competitive programming for 1 year, 2 years, and still they are newbie and pupil. Their rating is extremely low. And I started working with them, and after 3 or 4 months, they reached expert. And that's exactly what I did with them. That's exactly what I experienced myself. I did with them. I was seeing that their previous teacher, for example, was teaching them AVL tree. Although that's not even important at all, especially for a newbie who's just started and who has to just start learning implementation, brute force, just coding and get some accepts. But I said that, yeah, or for example, persistent segmentary, very hard solutions are taught to them, very hard algorithms are taught to them that has no use for them. That's really bad. I strongly recommend to you to start implementing. And I use AI to understand the concept for the problem because I forgot the syntax, but I didn't copy the same code wrong. Okay, that's not considered cheating. If you use AI for example, translating or understanding what the problem says, I think that's okay. At least Google Translate is definitely okay. But it's better to minimize your interaction with AI during a contest because it's AI and, maybe it gives you an unfair advantage somehow. Yes, rules regarding AI are posted on Codeforces. How is your course designed? My first course, as you guys have suggested, is in dynamic programming, and I plan to start it from the basics, like how the topic streams go, and go to complex topics. And at the end, I plan to solve 2000 plus rated problems in a way that even if you are a newbie and you just start learning what dynamic programming is, you can really start from the beginning and really can understand what is the solution to these 2000 plus rated problems, and you can completely comprehend them. So that's something that I can guarantee that if you watch that, you will get really from the zero in DP, from knowing nothing, to be able to solve 2000 plus problems. That's something that I believe in. And you know that, many times before my topic streams, I told you something that, yeah, this topic stream is gonna be like this. If you have zero knowledge, at the end of it, you will feel this way. And you can see that if I fulfilled my promise or not in those topic streams. I even put votes sometime in the Telegram channel to see that if you guys believe that I fulfilled that or not. And I believe that really this happens. Yes, okay, let's move on to the next problem. Problem D. Tung Sahur. The names today are really weird. You have two drums in front of you, a left drum and a right drum. A hit on the left can be recorded as L and a hit on the right can be recorded as R. But sometimes a blow sounds once and sometimes it sounds twice. Therefore, a hit on the left drum could have sounded as either L or LL. And the hit on the right drum could have sounded as either R or RR. The sequence of hits made is recorded in the string P and the sounds heard in the string S. Given P and S, determine whether it is true that the string S could have been the result of the hits from the string P or not. So you are given the hits and the sounds. You have to say that, is it possible to hear these sounds from these hits or not? For example, this is R, this is R. This is possible because we have a hit on R and it sounded twice. But this one is not possible because we have L and R. It's not possible that this L sounded three times. That's not possible. So the answer to this one is no. So let's see that how can we solve this one. Guys, in this problem, we have to find the blocks of L and R that we see in P and S. We have some blocks of L and R. For example, we have a block of L, then block of R, a block of L, a block of R, and so on. And also in S, we have the same thing. Definitely, if P starts with L, S must start with L as well. Otherwise, we should see out no immediately. If P starts with L but S starts with R or vice versa, you can immediately see out no and just continue. So definitely S must be starting with L as well. And then we will consider these blocks one by one. We will compare this size of each block in P and in S. The point is that the size of the corresponding block in P, in S, in the sounds, must be at most twice of their corresponding block in P. So the size of each block in here that we have must be at most twice of the size that we have in here. And it must also be greater than or equal to the size of that one in P. So basically our solution goes like this. Each time, let's say that we have two pointers, one at the beginning of P and one at the beginning of S. First of all, we have to check that these two characters are the same. Otherwise, we will see out no immediately. If they were the same, we will move forward as much as we can, as much as it's the same. For example, if it is L, we will move on, go forward as much as each next character is equal to this one. As long as the next character is equal to this one, we will move forward. And we will be given a block. Also in this one, we will do the same thing. As long as the next character is equal to ours, we will go forward. And we will be given a block here as well. And then we will see that if the size of this one is A, the size of this one is B, the condition is that B must be between A and 2A. If it wasn't the case, we will see out no immediately. Otherwise, we will move on to the next block. We will move each pointer to the right by 1 and then start from here again. This one must be R in both of them because this is a character that is different to the previous one. So this way we can just see that if the size of the blocks is what it should be. Is it clear? If it's clear, okay, I will use your submission as well. I will show your submission. If it's clear, please put a plus or use this emoji. The problem status are maybe part-time babysitters. They pronounce those problem names to babies when they start crying. Yeah, that maybe makes sense. Tung, sorry. It makes sense. You're a genius, Jonor. That didn't come to my mind. That's great. Can we make it easier? We will see other people codes as well. By the way, they framed the question. I thought that for every L, there will be L and vice versa. You are. No, for each L, there's either one L or two L's. Let me show you the codes now if no one has issues with the solution. If you have any solution with the solution, let me know. Okay, implementation. Okay, sure. So let's show, we have a solution with the Perl language. That's interesting. Also with Python, it seems like we have a, no, this wasn't very short. Let me see this code. I think it's similar to C++ solutions because that wasn't very. shorts. Let me first show you the submission that you guys sent. This submission that you guys sent is in Python. We also have this submission which is in C++. I will explain both. So this solution that we have in here is this. He has exactly 2 pointers like what I explained, and then he says that while I was less than p dot size or j was less than s dot size, so as long as I was less than p dot size and j was less than s dot size, I is before the end of p and j was before the end of s. It means that we're not done, we're not at the end of the strings. If I was equal to p dot size or j was equal to s dot size or p of 0 was not equal to 0, see out no and return. Why? Because if I is equal to p dot size, we know that j is not. Otherwise, we would not execute inside the while anymore. Otherwise, this condition was not true. So if I dot size equal to p dot size, it means that one of the strings is to its end. It does not have any more blocks, but the other one still has some blocks. This is impossible. Definitely, the blocks should be matched between p and s. So if one of them is equal to the size of their corresponding string, definitely the answer is no. Also, as I said, the first characters of the strings, if they are not the same, also there's no way. We will see out no and return. After that, we will say that, okay, st1 is equal to I, st2 is equal to j. I think these are the starting points of the intervals of equal numbers, these blocks, and we say that while I is equal to p dot size and p of I is equal to p of st1, as long as we have the same character, we'll move I forward. Also, at the same time, as long as we have the same character in s, we will move the second pointer forward. So we have 2 pointers. The size of the first block is gonna be I minus st1. The size of the second block is j minus st2. If j minus st2 was less than I minus str, or I minus st1 times 2 was less than j minus st2, this is exactly the other condition. We said that b must be between a and 2a. So if b is less than a, or if 2a is less than b, we should see out no. That's what he's done. He says that if b is less than a, b in here is basically j minus st2. If it was less than a, or 2 times a was less than b, see out no and return. Otherwise, it means that we have processed till the end of the strings and we didn't detect any issues, so they are okay. So the answer is yes. This is how it can be implemented. Also, your code, the code that you have sent in Python, what he does is getting the inputs, and st1 will be equal to x0 and 1. I think he is trying to keep the blocks. And for I in x of 1, okay, each time he has these blocks, he has this list of blocks. In each one of them, he will put the character and the size of that block. If this new string was equal to if this new character was equal to the character of the last block, he will just increase the size of the last block by 1. st1 of -1, for people who do not know a lot about Python, it means the last element. -1 means 1 from the end. Otherwise, st1 that append I and 1. Otherwise, just append this character I. This 4 is 4 on characters. This character and 1, its size is right now 1. And st2 is gonna be the blocks of the second one. And at the end he will do this. If the length of st1 and st2 were the same, and we also had that a is equal to c and b is, so basically what he does is this. He will say that, okay, a and b, by zipping, it means that we have a 4 on these blocks. Assume that the corresponding ones, in the first one we have ab, in the second one we have cd. The characters must be equal first. First, the characters must be equal. So a must be equal to c. The first ones are the characters. The second ones are the length. And also, d must be between b and 2b. If this was correct for all of these pairs that we have, we will print yes. Otherwise, we will print no. So this was a beautiful Python solution as well. That was good. Is it clear? If it's clear, please use this emoji or put a plus. I showed another code for this problem. Maybe you can suggest in the next problems. Awesome. How we can do it without memorizing the blocks? We are memorizing the blocks. In the Python code that I just showed, we are memorizing the block. And in the previous one, we are processing the blocks one by one. So we are going over them one by one. I used the exact same logic, but got WA. I think you had a bug. Definitely you had a bug in implementing it. I think it's good if you join the Telegram group and put it there. Maybe other people can help you pointing out what the issue was. If you join the Telegram channel, in there I will put the link of the group again. Maybe it's good to put it in the bio as well. And then you can just join there and put your code there. Maybe others can tell you that's what is your bug. We just discussed problem D. Can we solve it with DP? No, DP is not necessary on this problem. At first, I thought that maybe the problem was to find the number of ways. That way, it could be like DP, the number of strings that produce this one. But in here, no. I mean, basically, there's no reason to use DP. There's nothing that justifies using DP. Okay, shall we move on to the next problem? Hello. And guys, if you are enjoying these live streams, please consider subscribing to the channel or liking the video, and if you can and want to support the channel, consider joining the channel. This way you will both support the channel and also you will get more from this channel as well. Okay, maybe send your solutions for the next one. And if you want to send your code for this problem, you can send it in Telegram group so that others can give feedback on that. Okay, so let's move on to the next problem. Wait till I bring it. Let me close this on these unnecessary tabs. Codeforces also has become slow. Okay, so problem E. It says that we have a sequence of n integers a1, a2 to an out with the maximum value of akx or a1, akx or a2 to akx or an among all k from 1 to n. So you want to find some integer such that if you take its XOR with all the other elements and sum these values up, it would be maximized. This will give you the maximum possible number. How do we do that? It's problem E. But I say that let's define f of k. Well, it's not working. Let me see. It's charged to. So let's define f of k as this value. F of k is gonna be equal to akx or a1 to the sum of this number to a sub k XOR a sub n. What I say is this. Let's take these XORs. Let's consider this XOR. Let's calculate all these values of f for all the k's and then take the maximum. So what I want to do is to calculate all of these f's and then find out what is their maximum. It went 2 up. Okay. So how do I calculate that? I say that let's, for each number, have a 4 on all the bits. We know that each number is up to 2 to the power of 30. 2 to the power of 30. Each AI is up to 2 to the power of 30, less than 2 to the power of 30. So what we can do, we know that we will have only 30 bits for each number in base 2. Bit 0, bit 1 to bit 29. I want you to calculate CNT of I, CNT of bits. It's gonna be the number of numbers such that that bit is on them, in them. So for each number, you will have a 4 on all of its bits. And if some bit was on, if it was 1, if, for example, you say that if AI and 2 to the power of j was non-zero, you will add CNT of j by 1. You will add 1 to CNT of j in that case. So this way, for each bit, you know that how many numbers have that bit on. And definitely also have how many numbers have that bit off. The rest of the numbers, n minus CNT of that bit, is going to be the number of elements that have that bit off. Now when you want to calculate f of k, you can just have a 4 on all the bits again for each bit. For example, you're on bit number I. On bit number, let's say b. On bit number b. If this bit was on in this string, if it was 1, it's either 1 or 0. Let's say first if it's 0. If it's 0, all the CNT of b strings, CNT of b numbers, that this bit is on in them, all of them in their XOR with this number are gonna have this bit. So you can say that you can increase f of k by CNT of b times 2 to the power of b, because all those numbers in their XOR with this number will create this bit as well. We'll create an additional 2 to the power of b for this bit. If this bit was 1 in this number, you will just say that f of k plus equal to all the numbers that they do not have this bit is 0 in them, will create a 2 to the power of b with this number. So in that case, you will say f of k plus equal to n minus CNT of b times 2 to the power of b. So you will consider these two separate cases, and for each bit you will sum up how many numbers differ in this bit with our number, because XOR is about the differences in binary representations. You will see that how many numbers differ in this bit, and you will multiply that by the value of this bit, which is 2 to the power of b. And you will add these values up. Is this clear? If it's clear, please again put a plus or use this emoji. Shouldn't we consider the carry from the previous bit as well? No, XOR does not have any carries. XOR does not have any carry on. So XOR is bitwise, is separated by bits. So each bit will be considered separately. For each bit, you can see that what is how many numbers have this bit on or off, and just by XOR you will find out that how many numbers have this bit on in their representation. Thank you for funny emojis. Yeah, sure. I will repeat it again. Sure. So basically what we do is this. We will see that for each number, how many numbers have this bit on. Okay. And how many numbers have this bit off? It's going to be CNT of B will show that how many numbers have this bit on in their binary representation. So for each number, if this bit was on, if this bit was 1, you will increase CNT of B by 1. And at the end, CNT of B numbers have this bit on, and n minus CNT of B numbers have this bit off. it's 0 in their binary representation. So these main numbers have 1 in this bit in their binary representation. These main numbers have 0. Now let's consider the definition of XOR. What does XOR say? XOR say that when you have two numbers, write them in base 2. In each positions, if the numbers were the same, put a 0. If the numbers were different, put a 1. So basically, if they are equal, it's 0, otherwise it's a 1. So XOR will be calculated like this. There are no carry-ons or nothing like that. The bits are different. We are considering it pairwise. They are considered separately. So basically, when you want to see for each number what is the sum of XORs of this number with other numbers, for each bit you can see that in how many XORs this bit will be 1 in the output. You can say that if this bit was 0 in this number, for any number that this bit is 1 in them, in the XOR you will see a 1 in that bit, and the value of this 1 is going to be 2 to the power of b, if the position of this bit is position b. So you will add CNT of b times 2 to the power of b in that case. Otherwise, if this bit was 1 in your number, it should be 0 in the other number. So you should add n minus CNT of b times 2 to the power of b. So this way you will add it for each bit separately, and you will get the final answer of f of k this way for each number. And at the end, you will just need to sum up these numbers. And for each of these bits, you will sum up, and then at the end, for each number, you will see that what is f of k and take the maximum of them. Is it clear? F of k is a sum of XOR. That's why I asked about the carry. Yes, but the point is that for XORs themselves, we do not have any carry. So when we are considering this, there's no reason to be worried about. So the point is that for each number, you are counting that in how many XORs. This will result to a 1 in the output, in the final number that we get here. In how many of these numbers, AK XOR A1, AK XOR A2 to AK XOR AN, in how many of them that bit is going to be 1. So you keep adding these numbers at the end. Addition will be done separately, and carry on, etc. in addition will be calculated there. There's no worries about that. No worries about that. What we are doing here is to calculate the XORs. So there's no reason to be worried. Okay, let's show the submission. Hello. Let's see. Okay, let's show this submission. It's again in Java. It says that you will get all the numbers, and then exactly what I said. That's the exact same implementation. It says that if this bit was on, just add 1 to CNT of b, if this bit was on, and then at the end you will have a 4, and for b from 0 to 30, b++, if ai and 2 to the power of b was not equal to 0, if it was 1, he will add to some n minus CNT of b, shifted by b. Shifted by b means times 2 to the power of b. This shift just multiplies by 2 to the power of b, shifted by b. Otherwise, just long of CNT of b shifted by b. And at the end, you will take the maximum of all these numbers, and you would see out that number. You would print that number. Also, another code that we have in here, this code is also beautiful. What he does is this: CNT of I and 0, CNT of I and 1. He has two CNTs. CNT of I and 0, I guess that it's that how many numbers have that bit 0, how many numbers have that bit 1. So he will have a 4 on all the numbers. He will count that how many, if, for example, this bit is on or not, and he will just say that CNT of j and b++. If it's 0, CNT of j and 0 will be plus plus, otherwise CNT of j and 1 is plus plus. And do not forget that he has used Boolean, so this number will be either 0 and 1. If that bit is not on, it will be 0, otherwise it will be 1. And at the end he will just say this, he will have a 4 on all the elements, he will see that what is this bit, and he will consider the flipped of this bit, and he will see that how many numbers have the other bits times 2 to the power of j, or he could just say shifted by j, and he will take the maximum of these numbers. Is it clear? Yes, I was discussing problem E. What if all numbers have bit j as 0, then we don't have an AK with bit j as 1, which will make that bit 1 in the sum. Yes, if all of them have that bit equal to 0, then that bit never will be added to our XORs. Always that bit in our XORs is gonna be 0. No worries, if you miss the solution, you can still see the solution. You can just see that when you want to be played, and you can play that one. Or if you want, maybe after the live stream, you can check that out. Never thought of XOR being an independent bitwise operation. Yeah, that is super important, especially in problems like this. You know, guys, what it gives you such problems give you better intuition about different things. Right now, for example, after seeing this problem and listening to what I said, you have better intuition about what XOR is. Next time you see XOR, you know more about it. That's why solving these problems is helpful. Will you discuss question H? Hopefully, if we get to that. I tried to read H before the stream, but since it was too late, I couldn't do that. I had to start the stream right away. So I didn't read it completely. But let's see what happens. I think I also read problem F. Let me see. Did I read it? Yes, I read it. So I read till problem F. I hope that we can solve G and H as well. I think we can do that. I think if we do it a bit more quickly, we can definitely do that. Shall we move on to the next problem? Okay, so I guess there are no questions left. Please see that. I don't know exactly what do you mean by that. Okay, let's move on to problem F now. The problem F simply says that I love the problems with short problem statements. From when I started competitive programming, I love the problems with short statements. It says that you are given 3 integers n, m, and k. It is guaranteed that k is greater than or equal to 2, and n times m is 0 modulo k. Output an n by m grid of integers such that each of the following criteria hold. Each integer in the grid is between 1 and k inclusive. Each integer from 1 to k appears an equal number of times. And no two cells that share an edge have the same integer. So each of the cells must be between 1 and k. Its number must be from 1 and k. It must appear the same number of times. And no two cells that share an edge should have the same integer. How can we solve this problem? Well, first, I say that let's assume that 1 of n or m is divisible by k. Assume that, for example, n is divisible by k. Are you asking me about what is my score on Codeforces? I'm Cheyenne on Codeforces, so you can search that. I think it's 26 something. So assume that 1 of n and m is divisible by k. For example, assume that n is divisible by k. So what you can say is that let's split n into blocks of size k. Okay. And then start from in each block we have a k by m. In each of them, do like this: 1, 2, 3, 2k, and then again 1, 2, 3, 2k, and so on till the end. M is not necessarily divisible by k, but n is. In the next row, start from 2, 2, 3, 2k, and then 1, 2, 2k, and then 1, and go on. and in the last one start from k. So each time it's like we are shifting by 1. Okay, this way it can easily be shown that in each block you will have each number from 1 to k equal number of times, because you can see that in each column we have each number from 1 to k once. In the first one you have exactly 1 to k, in the second one you have 2, 3, and k will be here and there will be 1 here, and so on. Each column will have this exactly 1 of each number from 1 to k. So this will give you the answer, and you can easily see that as well, that each two neighbors have different stars. Again, in the next block, because we start from 1, it will still work and it will give you the same answer. So if one of n and m is divisible by k, the answer can be easily calculated. We know that n times m is divisible by k. I'm saying that if one of them alone is divisible by k, that can easily be solved, because in that dimension we can keep writing 1, 2 to k and each time shift it by 1, and you will see that you will have equal number of numbers from 1 to k each time. Is it clear? If m is not divisible by m, definitely you have some typo, but I don't know what is that. Is it clear so far? If n or m is, one of them is divisible by k, the problem is solved. We will talk about it, about the case that they are not divisible by k. What if we imagine the grid as a chessboard? Well, we do something similar to that. Let me tell you the rest, and we will do something similar to that. Otherwise, what if both of them? I mean, that's the same. If both of them are divisible by k, then it means that n is also divisible by k. So that lies in the condition that n is divisible by k. You can do this procedure that I said. So if n was divisible by k, do this. Otherwise, if m was divisible by the k, do this. Just flip it. I mean, just do it for m instead of n. Otherwise, it means that none of them is divisible by k. So if both of them are divisible by k, you can say that, okay, n is divisible by k. So do what I said here. M being divisible by k doesn't make any problems for that. Okay, yeah, sure. I will talk about it. So next, what I say is this. Let's define n prime as GCD of n and k, and then define m prime equal to k over n prime. Then I say that n is definitely divisible by n prime and m is definitely divisible by n prime. Why? N is definitely divisible by n prime because each number is always divisible by GCD with another number, because it was a divisor of n. N prime was definitely a divisor of n. Why m is divisible by m prime? Because we know that nm is divisible by k. So in here we have the common divisors of n and k. So definitely the rest must be in m. So I mean that n times m is divisible by k. Then n has some common divisors by k, and something will be left in k. K over that GCD will remain in k that is not covered yet. So that must be covered in m plus. For example, assume that let's say k is, for example, 6 and n is 9. Then GCD of n and k is gonna be 3. Then definitely m on the other hand must be divisible by 2, such that the product of n and m will be divisible by 6. So I mean that whatever divisor of k that n does not cover, m must definitely cover that. That's why I say that if n prime is defined as the GCD of n and k, let me bring this here. If n prime is defined as GCD of n and k, m prime, which is the rest of the divisors of k, must be covered by m. Otherwise, nm is not divisible by k. Is it clear so far? So I found out two numbers, n prime and m prime, such that n prime times m prime is equal to k, and n is divisible by n prime and m is divisible by m prime. If this part is not clear for anyone, let me know. So we have two golden numbers, n prime and m prime, such that n is divisible by n prime, m is divisible by m prime, and also n prime times m prime is equal to k. So we have these three conditions. Why math equation forming so hard for me? I will repeat it. So I'm saying that nm must be divisible by k. nm is divisible by k. Okay. Now I say that n prime is gonna be equal to GCD of n and k. So it's like we say that, okay, n times m must have all the prime factorization of k. For example, assume that k is equal to 2 to the power of 2 times 3 times 5 to the power of 2 times 7. This will be like this. K is equal to this. GCD of n and k is gonna have something, I mean some of this. For example, assume that GCD of n and k is gonna be 2 to the power of 1 times 5 to the power of 1 times 7. Now it means that if you divide k by this, it means that from k, one other 2 is remained, a 3 is remained, and a 5 is remained. Okay, so I mean that the rest m must have them, such that only in that way n times m will be divisible by k. So I'm saying that if this is n prime, m prime can be divided as can be calculated as k over n prime, and definitely m must be divisible by m prime. Okay, this is the main idea. So if n has some of the factors of k, m must have the rest. So we have a block of, we can have in our n by m table, in our n by m table, we can have a subtable of size n prime by m prime, such that its product is equal to k, and n is divisible by n prime, m is divisible by m prime. So basically it's like we can split the whole grid into subtables of n prime by m prime. And this will give us a good intuition of how we can assign the numbers. So each of these blocks is going to be n prime by m prime. So in each block, next I say that let's write the numbers like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, and then continue the rest from here. Here will be m prime plus 1 and go on, and the last number will be k. And we know that both n prime and m prime, both of them are at least 2. Because if one of them was 1, it means that the other number is divisible by k. It means that we have a 1 by k block. So the other number divides k. So it is covered in the previous case. I say that, so if we repeat this pattern so many times, it will give us exactly the answer that we want. Why? Because none of the ones is next to another one, because their distance is at least by m prime to the ones next to them, and in this dimension is n prime. Also, that's right for all the other numbers as well. All the numbers have distance at least m prime to all the same numbers in the same row, and have distance at least n prime for all the same numbers in the same column. And because n prime and m prime are greater than 1, that doesn't make any issues. GCD can be 1, yes, GCD in general can be 1, but in our case not, because if in our case it's 1, it means that one of the numbers is divisible by k. But I said that that case will be covered independently. At the first we covered those cases where one of the numbers is divisible by k. So we know that no number is divisible by k. So definitely each of the numbers of n and m will have some share in creating that k. So definitely n prime and m prime in this case are going to be at least 2. Otherwise it means that the other number that is GCD is not 1, the other number is divisible by k. That case is covered before. Is it clear? If it's clear, please put a plus or use this emoji again. I will show you the code quickly as well. Awesome. 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 Now let me show you the code too. The code for problem F. This looks like a good code. Let's see what has he done. He just says this: for I0 I less than m, j0 j less than m. Okay, this is something that can be easily proved as well with what I said. Let's see if that's what I guess it must be. Cout j plus maximum of 1 ll and m modulo k times I okay, so he say that okay, yeah, I think that makes sense. Basically what he's doing, he's saying that he's basically doing the same thing. I mean, if you look at this, if you look at what we have in here, we are adding the numbers one by one here. And if you look at it this way, we are adding the numbers m prime by m prime. So in one dimension, we are adding the numbers by 1. In the one dimensions, we are adding the numbers by m prime. What he does, what he wants to do is to just keep adding the numbers by 1 in one dimension. In the dimension of j, he will keep adding the numbers by 1. So each time this now, as j gets increased by 1, the number gets increased by 1 as well. On the other hand, in the second dimension, each time that I gets increased by 1, the number gets increased by m modulo k. And if m modulo k was 0, it will be increased by 1. So in that case also, so that we make sure that in that case also we don't make consecutive equal numbers. So that case is simple. If m modulo k is 0, that's simple. That by adding 1 each time that we go forward, it will cover all the numbers. That is a special case of m modulo k is 0. But in general, if we add the numbers by m modulo k each time that we go to the next number, what this code argues is that this way we will get the same number of numbers. Let's analyze and see that if that's really the case. So basically, in each row he will try to add the numbers by 1 to reach k, and then 1, 2, 3 to k, and so on. He will just keep going. Like this. And so this is each row. On the other hand, in each column, he will try to shift everything by m modulo k. So he will see that what m modulo k is, and each time he will try to add by that much. n prime is equal to GCD. Yes, in the previous solution that I said n prime was equal to GCD of n and k. Okay, I see. Maybe we can talk about it later. Let's see first how do we do on this one. I think that what he does, we can say that I think we can also show that n must be divisible by m modulo k. I mean by k over m modulo k. Or k modulo k, it's m modulo k itself. Because if m modulo k is something, yes, m modulo k basically has the same GCD with k as m modulo k, as m itself has that GCD with k. So the GCD of this number with k does not change basically. And we have n rows. Okay, I think it makes sense. We should just write it more formally. We have n rows, and we know that in each row, I mean, if we keep doing this, if we write 1, 2, k to the end, and so on, we would go on like this. Each time we are increasing the number by m modulo k. Now consider the first cells that are divisible by k. The number of rows is divisible by k. So let's keep m modulo k rows at the end. The rest of the rows that we have in here, sorry. Let's vice versa. Let's consider it vice versa. Let's consider that let's consider these rows such that in each row leave m modulo k cells at the end. Okay. Now it makes sense. Let's we completely prove that. I'm saying that I want to prove that this solution works well. I think now I have the proof. Now I can say that why it works. So each time when we go rightward, he will try to increase the number by 1. Whenever we go downward, he will try to increase the number by m modulo k. Now, why does it work? Let's just leave the last m modulo k columns alone. Leave them aside. The number of remaining columns is divisible by k. And in this procedure, you see that every k columns, we see every k columns in each row, every k cells have any number from 1 to k exactly once. So in these parts, we are sure that we have same number of numbers from 1 to k in each part, in these parts. In this part, we have the same number of numbers from 1 to k. Now we have this part left. And we know that each of these rows has exactly m modulo k numbers. Now what happens if we add by m modulo k whenever we go downwards? We have number 1 in here, 2 in here, and m modulo k in here. Now when we go to the next row and we will add by m modulo k in here, we have m modulo k plus 1 and so on. And you can see that it's like we are going and writing the numbers in this order. Each time we start from the first row and go to the end, and then continue from the next row and go to the end. Continue from the next row and go to the end. It's like we have exactly, if you look at it like this, go to the end and then go to the next row, you see that you see each number exactly once. And because the number of cells that we see in here is divisible by k, you will see that, because it's divisible by k, you will see that each number from 1 to k will be seen exactly the same number of times. So basically, if each time that you go rightward, add your answer by 1, so you will say that you will have j plus I times, whenever we go downward, we add to our answer m modulo k. maximum of 1 and n modulo k. We say maximum of 1 and n modulo k so that if n modulo k was 0, it will add 1 each time. We say that this way at the end each number will be seen the exact same number of times. Why? Because leave n modulo k last columns alone, the rest will have the same number of numbers from 1 to k. In the last n modulo k columns, now we can say that you can see that how you put the numbers will be like you have 1 2 3 2 n modulo k, and again the first cell of the next row will be n modulo k plus 1 2 2 times n modulo k. Then again the first cell of the next row will be 2 times n modulo k plus 1, and so on till the end, and so on. So basically only by just writing j plus maximum of 1 and n modulo k times I, you will get the answer. You should just take modulo k because everything is considered modulo k, and add 1 because instead of 0 to k minus 1 you care what? 1 to k, so you add 1 to everything. Actually there's even more simpler one. First field all says I plus j modulo 2 equal to 0, and second field I modulo j I plus j k is not only 0 and 1. K can be larger, so yeah, if you want we can do it in the next topic stream. Join the Telegram channel or join the channel membership to vote on the next topic streams. Okay, is it clear for you guys? If it's clear, please again put a plus or use this emoji. Can you please try out my approach? I think since we have only limited time left, maybe it's better if we move on to the next problem, because I'm not sure if we can cover the next problems as well. But you can add this solution, write this solution in Telegram group, and maybe others can help with that. So if you're okay, maybe it's better if we move on to the next problem for now. To problem G. Okay, great. Awesome. So let's move on to the next problem now. Chimpanzini Bananini. Similar to what Sahur said, basically I can question that what is the source of these names. Okay, it stands on the brink of a momentous battle, one destined to bring finality. The interesting thing is that I haven't read this statement before, so I'm trying to find it out what it says as well. For an arbitrary array B of length m, let's denote the readiness of the array to be equal to sum of the elements times I, bi times I, okay, gives you an empty array. There are three types of operations you can perform on it. Perform a cyclic shift on the array, okay, reverse the entire array, append an element to the end of the array. Okay, after each operation you are interested in calculating the readiness of your array. Note that all operations are persistent. This means that each operation modifies the array, and subsequent operations should be applied to the current state of the array after previous operation. Okay, this is good. This context has good statements. So you basically have three types of operations. I think at the beginning it's empty. Is it empty at the beginning? The following killer lines, okay, cyclic shift and add. The sum of q will not exceed 2 times 10 to the 5th. And at the beginning you will start with adding up a number. And you want the exact number. That looks good. How can we calculate this? We can do it like this. I think we can always keep two numbers, ans1 and ans2, This is the solution that came to my mind just now. I hope that it's correct. Ans1 equal to 0, ans2 equal to 0 as well. So ans1 is the ritziness of the array itself. Ans2 is equal to the ritziness of the reverse of the array. So now I say that how do we update the numbers as we go forward? Now I see a question about the previous number. M prime was equal to k over GCD, because the main reason was that whatever was left from the GCD will be covered by M. Maybe watch that part again afterwards to make sure that's what it is. So for now, let's get back to this one. We have ans1 equal to 0 and ans2 equal to 0 at the beginning. Each time we will add an element either to the end of the array, in which, what I want to do is to update these numbers each time that we get any of these queries. If you add an element to the end, ans1 will be simply added by, that what is the current size. So this one will be added in position size plus 1. So ans1 will be added by size plus 1 times this new element. For example, it's k. Also assume that you have the sum of all the numbers as well. ans2 will be added by, ans2 is the ritziness of the reverse of the array. In the reverse of the array, that this one comes in the first position because it's in the last. If in the reverse of the array is in the first position, and the position of all these will be added by 1. So ans2 will be added by this number plus the sum of the other numbers, because this number will be added in the first place, and all the other numbers, they will go to a position 1 more than what they were before. So now they will be multiplied by a number that is exactly 1 more than what it was before. So they will be added by k. They will be added by sum. And sum will be added by k as well, and size will be added by 1. So this is how operation number 3 can be covered. Operation number 3 can be easily covered this way. Each time when a number will be added, that k will be added at the end, so k times sc plus 1 will be added to ans1, and ans2 will be added by k plus sum, because everything has 1 more position, will be multiplied by a number 1 more than before, and sum will be added by k, sc will be added by 1. I don't know are you guys discussing here. Ritziness of reverse array can be calculated, yes. That can be calculated like that as well. Yes, maybe, yeah. That is also correct. ans2 is always equal to sum of array times n, or times n plus 1 minus ans1. That's correct. Yes, that was a good point. Thank you. That simplifies the solution further. Let's not keep ans2. Let's avoid keeping ans2. And ans2, say that whenever we needed it, is equal to sum times n plus 1 minus ans1. We could also do it like this. Whenever we have an operation of type 2 that reverses the array, we simply swap ans1 and ans2. So if you have kept the values of ans2, it will be like this. Otherwise, you can just say that, or if you do this change, you could easily just say that ans1 is equal to this ans2 that is defined, sum times n plus 1 minus ans1. So operation number 2 can be easily calculated as well. Now operation number 1, it cyclically shifts the array. So the last element, an, comes to the first position, all the other elements will be moved forward. First, let's assume that all the elements will be moved forward. In that case, ans1, or let's say ans, now that we have only one answer, let's name it ans, will be added by sum. because the index of everything will be added by 1. Okay, the index of everything will be added by 1. So ans will be added by sum. But the last element, an, now its position will be subtracted by n. N is size. N is equal to size. So let's rename n. Let's rename size as n, because it's simpler. So we can just from ans subtract an times n, because right now it was at position n. Now we have increased its position by 1 as well. So it's like it's now at position n plus 1. We have to subtract its position by n such that it will go to position 1. So this way ans will be updated again. The only question is that how to keep a sub n. The only question is that how to keep what is the last element of the array right now. Right? Is it clear so far? Is it clear whatever we are saying? If you have any questions about that, you can tell me so in the chats. About this last word that we have to keep what is the last number, I think the idea that comes to my mind is to keep a linked list. Because a linked list can be easily updated and you can easily use it to find out what is the first number and the last number. So I think we can simply use a linked list for that, to find out that what is the last number at the end. We will see a code as well to see that how others did have implemented it, but I think that the operation 1 can be easily used like this as well. A deque can be used as well, yes. A deque can also be used because each time you are removing one element from the end and adding to the other. That's also a good solution. Let's see this solution. So this solution is in Python, uses a deque. So if in case it was 1, he will say that array.append left of array.pon. So he will change, he will move that to the beginning of the array if flag was true. So flag checks if the array is reversed or not. Otherwise, left of it should be added to the end. And ans plus equal to s and print ans. It makes sense. So each time he will just do this, he will update this and also add this total sum to ans. That's exactly what I said. He's adding sum to the ans and decreasing the last number times size. So he's adding sum to the ans and decreasing the elements that is gonna be moved by the length of the array. And if in case it was 2, he will calculate len of array plus 1 times s, subtract ans from it. He will flip the flag and he will print ans. Otherwise, if we had 3 and x, if flag was true, we append to the array x. Otherwise, we append to the beginning of the array x. And we will say that ans plus equal to int of x times len of array. It will be multiplied by the current length of the array and s will be added by int of x. So this way, with the data structure, we can simply update everything. We can also see other codes as well. Let's see this code. What he does in here is basically the same thing. He has used the deque as well, just in C++. What he does is this. Each time, if the flag was 0, this ch is again a flag in here. That whenever he gets operation number 2, he will flip the flag and he will update the sum. It's c times n plus 1 here minus sum. In case 3, he will say that if ch was 0, d.push back, otherwise d.push front, and add this to sum and to sum. C is basically his sum, Sm is his answer. So to his answer, he will add k times n plus k, and operation 1, he will say that if the flag was 0, he will do this Sm minus d.back times n plus c, Makes sense? Otherwise, he does that from the front. So basically, we have a dq to find out what is the first and last element. That's the only thing that remains to be kept. dq can also be a very good solution to keep that. So this is how this can be calculated. Is it clear? If it's clear, let me know to quickly move on to problem H as well. I think we can quickly cover problem H2. I tried to read the problem H before this stream, but I ran short of time. Okay, good. Let's move on to the next problem. And guys, again, if you like this video or this live stream, please consider sharing it with others, liking the video or subscribing to the channel. And also, if you can support the channel by joining the channel, and it would be super helpful for the channel. Thank you. So let's move on to problem H. La Vaca Saturno Saturnita. Saturnita's mood depends on an array A of length n which only he knows the meaning of, and the function f which only he knows how to compute. Okay. Shown below is the pseudocode for his function f of k and a and l and r. You are given q queries, each containing k, l, and r. For each query, please output f of k and a and l and r. So you are given an array and then q queries with k and l and r. It is guaranteed that the sum n doesn't exceed 10 to the 5th over all test cases, and q does not exceed 5 times 10 to the 4th. And the time limit is 4 seconds. That's interesting. Looking at 5 times 10 to the power of 4 and this 4 seconds, it seems like the constraints are very on the border. Because usually when they give you 5 times 10 to the 4th instead of 10 to the power of 5, there's a reason that they half it. Okay, so let's see what does the function do. It says that ans equal to 0 for I from L to R inclusive, while k is divisible by ai. K will be divided by ai and ans will be added by k. Okay. So he will start from L to R, while k is divisible by ai. We will divide it by ai and then we'll add ans. Okay. I think the best thing that we can do is to take a look at the solution for this problem right away, and let's try to find out what have they done. Let's show another code. Let's see what this code has done. So he takes a sieve of Eratosthenes and solve. Sin ai, this vector of ai dot pushback I, sin k l r plus plus, oh, okay, it makes sense. Yeah, it is a little bit like an adcoder problem, sequential operations on a string. So each time we see that mx at the beginning is equal to r, and we say that int of u upper bound of vci does begin vc of dot a end l minus 1 minus vc of I dot begin. we say that VC of AI dot pushback I. So in AI we'll push back I. Not okay. So he has a 4 on all the divisors of K. Each time he will find out the first element after this, and he will say that if U not equal to Vk of I dot size mx is gonna be equal to minimum of mx and Vc of I and U. Okay, makes sense. Okay, let me tell you the solution. Guys, what the solution says is simply this. Each time that you are dividing K by something, you say that K equal to K over AI, you are dividing it at least by 2. So the main idea is this. Because you say that K modulo AI is equal to, you know, even if AIs were equal to 1, you could ignore the ones because dividing by 1 has no point. AIs are at least 2 in this problem. So basically you can say that each time that you are dividing the number by K by AI, you are dividing it at least by 2. So how many divisions you will have at most? Can you tell me? When each time that you are dividing K by something, you are dividing it at least by 2. So how many divisions you have at most? Can we give any upper bounds on the possible number of divisions? I think right now, because we're almost at the end of the video, we have high lag. Yes, log of n, exactly. We have at most log of n divisions. At most log of n divisions. So the point is that let's have a 4 each time. Try to find out when is the first time that we will divide this K. Let's find out what is the next time, the first time that we will divide K. We know that this 4 will take at most log of n steps. Each time we are trying to find out, okay, what is the next time that we will divide K by something. And in each of them, let's have a 4 on all the divisors of K. We have a number K. We know that the number of divisors is almost root of K in base 3. Almost around that. So if our number is up to 10 to the power of 5, let's say that the number of divisors is gonna be around 100 or something. It's like around 100 divisors. So basically our solution is gonna be 100 times log of n for each query. Why? Because log of n times, you're gonna have a 4 on all the divisors of K. We see that what is the first time they appear after L. And we will consider the minimum of all those elements. And that is gonna be the first element that has a divisor of K. That's gonna be the first element that has a divisor of K. So if this way we can find what is that first element and divide K by that and then move L here. And then again in here search and just move on like that. So this process will be repeated log of n times because each time that we divide this number will be divided by at least 2. So it will lose one of its factors. It will be divided by at least 2. So it's log. So we can say that it will be take at most log of n times. And each time we have a 4 of size 100, for example, to have a 4 on all of its divisors, find out what is the first place that they appear. And we can this way find out what is the first place that some divisor of K will appear. And after that we will go there and we will continue from there next time. So in O of log n times 100, around 100, that can be calculated. Yes, exactly. When you see 5 times 10 to the 4th, definitely it's very high it has a very high probability that this problem has a tight time constraint, because otherwise why didn't they give you 10 to the 5th? Why did they make the number so uglier 5 times 10 to the power of 4? Why didn't they simply say 10 to the power of 5? There's a reason that they halved it. So, okay, if it's clear, that is very good, let me know. Otherwise, if it's not clear, also let me know if you need me to explain the solution again. The code was shown to you as well. The code is this. You can just each time he will say while 1, this 4 will be taken, this while will be processed at most log of n times. Each time he will just have a 4 on all the divisors of k. For each of these divisors, he will find out the first time that they will appear after L. And if it was not equal to VC of I dot size, it means that if they found something, if it found something, it says that mx equal to minimum of mx and VC of I and d. I don't know why he defined it as mx, why not mn. At the end, he says that if mx still was equal to r, then it means that there's no divisor left. Otherwise, he will say that ans was equal to mx minus l times k, because in all the time in this interval, it will remain as k, and then he will divide k by this number and say ans plus equal to this new k, and L will go to the next mx. L will be equal to mx plus 1, right after mx. Okay, I think that it's now clear for everyone. Okay, guys, thank you for joining. Yeah, sure. For sure, I'll see you in the next stream. Hope to see you in the next topic streams and the next live streams as well. And I hope to see you among the subscribers, and if you could, the members as well in the future. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much for joining. See you next time. Bye.